Hey everyone, so I was requested to do, and I told everyone I would do this as well, that a video on what foundations and acne, how to basically figure out what foundations do best for your skin type or your type of acne. I've gone through almost all the stages of having acne, whether it's pre-acne where you're starting to feel and get stressed out and have oily skin, or starting to get your skin more erupted and stuff. I've gone through severe acne where it's hurt my face to actually move it, or I felt like I couldn't cover anything because there was so much texture, so much bumps on my skin. And then now I'm going through the scarring phase where I don't really have much acne, but I do have a lot of scars that are very present on my skin. So I found 3 foundations that I've used over the years that I've had acne and now that I have scarring, that I've been really sticking to and that I've absolutely loved what they did for my skin when I had acne and now that I don't have acne. So I'm going to show you guys these 3 foundations and how I feel that they've helped my skin and helped the coverage of my skin. So to first start off with, I'm going to start with this type of skin that you have acne and it's very, very present in your skin. You have a lot of scarring, a lot of texture, you have a lot of bumps. Like for instance, in my situation, my skin was very, very erupted. I had cystic acne, which is when your acne is very bumpy and your bumps are very large and they hurt. And they're internal, they're not really whiteheads, they're just a really large bump on your skin that hurt very much. So that's what I had. I had a big cluster of them on both sides of my cheeks. So my skin was very much textured. That's what I consider textured, if you're kind of wondering what I mean by that. Very bumpy is what I mean by textured. So one of the foundations that I've absolutely loved when I did have that, because my skin is very oily and it's always been very oily and my skin it was very, very textured. I found this foundation. This is the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra foundation. I have in the color Bisque Zero. This foundation is mainly just kind of says that it's mainly just for long-lasting foundation, a medium to heavy coverage, long-lasting foundation, a no retouch. The reason why I think it's a great foundation for people who have texture is because it's very versatile. It can work for people who have dry skin and it can work for people who have oily skin. So it helps, it's an all-around good universal type of skin. But the reason why I feel like it covers acne well is because it did cover up my acne very well and it didn't make my skin very flaky. Sometimes around my acne area when I would apply an ointment, my skin would become very flaky and it still have acne, but it would be very, very flaky, and this stuff wouldn't erupt that. It would make it look very seamless and smooth. It'd give my a nice smooth feel. I mean, of course the texture wouldn't be gone, but the feel of my skin was a lot smoother, and it would, this is in the shade W, and they have a really nice coloring system, so the warmness of this would cancel out the redness in my skin from the acne. So that's the reasons why I felt like this is a greatest foundation for people who have texture to the skin. I found that it was great for me. It's a little bit pricey. I believe it's $42. I got it at Sephora, but I know that Dillard's and Macy's have Lancome counters, so you can find that there as well, or you can find it at Lancome.com, which I'll put in the description bar where you can find it. But it's a great foundation for those of you who do have texture to your skin, and even if you have oily or dry skin, it'll work well with you, because one of my sisters has a combination skin where she has very dry patches on her skin, and she tried this foundation. She said that she really did like it. It wasn't too dry on her skin. It kind of left a dewy finish. And for myself, I really didn't care about my oiliness when I had acne. All I cared about was covering the color of my acne, so this worked really well for me, even though I have severely oily skin. So that's one of my favorite. It's the Tint Idol Ultra. It's great for people who have acne with texture. The second foundation was kind of my transitioning foundation. It was when I was going from having severe acne to having little to no acne but tons of scars. And it was a time where my skin was very dry and I didn't really want to put too much foundation on because it was kind of clearing out of my system, and it was when I was going to a dermatologist a lot, so I didn't like to wear too much foundation. So I used this. This is actually a drugstore foundation. I don't normally like drugstore foundations, but this is a great foundation. This is a L'Oreal Natural Mineralized Foundation. It's a great foundation for those of you who don't want to put too much foundation on and that have a lot of acne, because it covers fairly well, and it's very nice and natural on your skin. It's not going to hurt, excuse me, it's not going to harm your skin because it's very natural. It's all mineral. And it has SPF of 19, so that's good. And it's very gentle on your skin, and it comes with this really nice kabuki on top, so you don't really have to buy anything. It's a really nice to-go foundation. For example, when I had acne and I was kind of like transitioning, it was during the summer, so I would go to the beach a lot with my family, and I didn't want to take this expensive makeup because it's quite expensive. You don't want to use it every day. I would use this, and I bought it. It's like $14, just like a quarter of the price of what the Lancome one is. So I would use this and just brush all over my skin, very nice and natural, not a heavy coverage, but it didn't hurt my skin, it didn't harm it at all. So that's why I think this is a great foundation, because it's nice for transitioning between heavy acne to little to no acne. So this is a great foundation. You can get this in any drugstore, Walmart, CVS, any of those stores. It's True Match Natural, and I'm in the shade Natural Beige. So last foundation, it's the one I'm using right now, I have on my skin right now. It's a great foundation for those who have little to no acne. I mean, I still have a few blemishes here and there, but not nearly as much as I had previously. So my skin being very, very oily is a little bit more, it's a little bit more oily than most people would say that theirs is. So I like to use Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus. I've talked about this a lot. This is one of my favorite foundations to use currently. It's a great foundation for those of you who have oily skin and have scarring, because the coverage is medium to heavy. Sorry, I said that heavy weird. Medium to heavy coverage, and it's very, very good for those who, like I said, have oily skin. It leaves your skin very velvety and smooth and soft. It doesn't harm your skin. It's oil-free and water resistant. So I live in Texas, so it's very hot, and the climate is very humid. The humidity here is very, very high. So I like sweat-proof foundation. It can last me all day, and it won't flake or anything. The only thing is, if you have dry skin or flakiness, any kind of flakiness to your skin, this is not a good foundation to use, because it's so matte and dry. It will make your flakes look very, very present. So I know I've used this. I used this before when I still was kind of ending the transition. My skin was still very dry from the areas where I did have acne, and this was not a good foundation to use when you have flaky skin. So if you have very smooth, oily skin, I would say this is a great foundation, because I love it. It's one I'm using right now. I just have tons of scarring underneath this pound of makeup. Just kidding. I have a lot of scarring, but this foundation does a really good job of covering it. So I know I would say this would be just about foundation, but I feel like these you could use them as foundation because they're that great. First off, I'm going to talk about concealers. Now, they're both from MAC, and some people might say, well, that's not fair because MAC's really expensive and some of us can't afford MAC. But really, if you have acne and you really, really want your skin to look good, you're going to want to invest in something that's really good for your skin and that's going to cover it well. So if you're going to buy these oh, by the way, this is $34 at Sephora. Makeup Forever. I forgot to mention that. These are both from MAC. The first one to show you, I've used this concealer through all of the foundations. I've used this ever since I started to develop acne. It's when I started getting acne really bad. I went to MAC and I wanted to ask them if they had a really nice matte concealer that will cover up the redness in my acne. So the woman suggested me this, and I've liked it ever since. I've almost gone through 4 bottles of this stuff. This is the Select Cover Up from MAC, and this is in the shade NC30. The reason why I'm using a cool shade is to cancel out the redness. Cool shades have more, I think, yellow in them, something like that, and it cancels out the redness. I don't know, somehow it works for me. Every time I have a redness or any kind of redness on my skin, I use this and it dries matte nicely and it covers it completely. It's diminished. So I love this concealer. It's $17 at MAC. I've raved about this for years and years, well, 1 year, for a year. And I've told many of you guys who've asked me about what concealers to use that this is the one to use. I love it. I have it on right now. It covers scarring, it covers acne, it covers texture nicely. It's a very nice cover corrector. Or they used to call this color corrector because it's very thick. And then also this one, I used before I had gotten this concealer, I had this one. And even though it's not really recommended to use that, I use it underneath my eyes now. But before I would use this for covering acne because it's very creamy. So if you have dry skin, you're in that flaky stage, Since this one dries matte, you're going to want something that's going to dry creamy since you have dry skin. I would recommend to use the MAC Studio Finish Concealer, and I have in the shade NW25, sorry. But you're going to want to get a C shade if you're going to cover up the redness. Since the W covers up blueness, you're going to want to get a C shade. So if you're going to get this, I suggest you get like a C shade. This is a great concealer. It's one of my favorites. I use it right now for underneath my eyes. It's very creamy, so if you have dry skin, you're going to want to use this. If you have oily skin, you're going to want to use this one. So it really just depends on your type of skin. I use both because around my eyes are very dry, and around my cheeks it's very oily, so I use it just like that. That's basically it, guys. I hope that was helpful for those of you who are going through acne. I am very, I feel your pain. I was like totally over dramatic about all my acne. You can see my previous videos when I had acne. I was very ashamed of it, but now that I have found people who actually have it too, it kind of makes me not ashamed at all. It makes it feel like it's natural, and I'm not doing anything to cause it. In my case, it was, like I said before, it had cystic acne, and it was hereditary, so it was hormonal as well, so it wasn't really my fault that I had acne. I just had it. So don't worry, it's not going to stay forever. Go to a dermatologist is my best advice I could give you. People always ask me, what did you do to your skin? It looks amazing. I went to a dermatologist. I went to a doctor, and I got it fixed. For years and years, I was moping around that it would never go away. I used Rescue, and like I said before that, I've told you guys, it's a great product to use for over-the-counter, but if you really have severe acne, it's not going to diminish it. You need to go to the doctor and get it fixed. In my case, if you want to see my skincare routine, I have a video up where I talk about what I take from the doctor. Just to be brief, I take an oral medication, a topical ointment, and a face wash, and those three just really knocked out my acne. So I suggest you go to a dermatologist if you feel like nothing's working for you. It's not gonna hurt you to go to the doctor. He might actually find a really quick solution to your problem. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Words of wisdom for me, people for me who had acne, really bad acne, and now I have scarring. So now continue on my journey with me with my scarring. I hope that was really helpful. Like I said again, I am so fumbling all over my words today. I just got this new Audrey Hepburn, oh my gosh, Audrey Hepburn, I cannot say that, poster my friend got me for Christmas. So I was really happy about that. I have, now she's with, it's Audrey, Marilyn, and Jimmy are all together on the same wall, and I love it. So thanks, guys. Hope you had a great holiday so much. Bye.